The rise of the Tang dynasty, China's golden age begins. When the Sui dynasty collapsed, China was once again on the edge of chaos. Rebellions were everywhere, generals proclaimed themselves kings, and the mandate of heaven seemed to drift unclaimed in the air. But out of that storm stepped a man who would found one of the greatest dynasties in Chinese history. Li Yuan, later known as Emperor Gaozu, the founder of the Tang dynasty. How the Tang dynasty was born. Li Yuan was a high-ranking noble and skilled commander under the Sui. He watched Emperor Yang drain the empire with reckless wars and endless construction. When the rebellions exploded, Li Yuan made the boldest choice possible. He turned his army south, seized the capital, and declared a new dynasty. The Tang. But behind him stood someone even more extraordinary. His son, Li Shimin, a genius general and one of the greatest rulers in Chinese history. Li Shimin, the warrior prince. Li Shimin was young, daring, and brilliant on the battlefield. He crushed powerful rivals, defeated enemy coalitions, and secured the Tang dynasty's foundation with pure strategic brilliance. But ambition runs strong in such men. In the famous Xuanwu Gate incident, he eliminated his two brothers, who were plotting against him, and forced his father to abdicate. He then became Emperor Taizong, and under his rule China entered a golden age. Emperor Taizong, the ideal emperor. Under Emperor Taizong, the government was rebuilt using merit, not birth. Taxes were lowered. Farming was encouraged. Trade along the Silk Road exploded. And China became the cultural center of Asia. He also handled foreign relations like a master. Tribes and kingdoms from Central Asia, Korea, Japan, and beyond sent envoys, gifts, and scholars, all seeking alliances and knowledge. This was the moment China felt like the center of the world again. Empress Wu, the only woman emperor in Chinese history. After Taizong's era came one of the most dramatic figures in all of Chinese history. Wu Zetian, the woman who would rise from concubine to become the only woman to ever rule China as emperor. She was intelligent, ruthless, strategic, and absolutely determined. During her rule, she promoted talented officials from humble backgrounds. She strengthened the exam system. She expanded the borders. She made China wealthier and more stable. But her iron-handed methods created many enemies, and after her death, the Tang dynasty returned to the Li family. Tang dynasty peak, the height of Chinese civilization. The mid-Tang era became famous for poetry, Li Bai, Du Fu, Wang Wei, legends. Cosmopolitan cities like Chang'an with traders from Persia, India, Arabia. Buddhist art and sculpture flourishing like never before. Advances in medicine, astronomy, and printing. The first true golden age of Chinese culture. China had never been more open, wealthy, confident, and powerful. But greatness attracts cracks. A powerful general named An Lushan, trusted by the court, turned against the Tang and led one of the deadliest rebellions in world history. It lasted nearly 8 years and devastated the empire. Millions died. Provinces broke away. The central government weakened. Powerful military governors, judushi, rose in the provinces. The Tang survived, but it was never truly the same. The slow fall of the Tang. After the rebellion, emperors struggled to control regional warlords. Eunuchs in the palace gained too much power. Court politics became poisonous. Finally, in the early 10th century, the dynasty shattered. China entered the era known as the 5 Dynasties and 10 Kingdoms, another time of fragmentation.
Society, culture, people, and traditions of the Tang dynasty. The Tang dynasty was one of the most vibrant and cosmopolitan periods in Chinese history. Everyday life was colorful, diverse, and filled with activity. Streets of Chang'an were crowded with traders from Persia, India, Arabia, and Central Asia. Foreign clothing, foods, and music were common, and people embraced a mix of cultures rarely seen in earlier times. Clothing was elegant and expressive. Women often wore flowing high-waisted dresses with wide sleeves, while men preferred long robes and boots influenced by nomadic styles. Music and dance were central to entertainment, and performances using drums, flutes, lutes, and exotic instruments from the Silk Road became extremely popular. Buddhism reached its peak, shaping art, sculpture, temples, and daily life. At the same time, Confucianism guided government and education, while Taoism influenced philosophy and medicine. The examination system expanded, allowing men from ordinary families a chance to rise to high office. People enjoyed festivals filled with lanterns, fireworks, horse races, poetry contests, and street performances. Tea drinking, which later became central to Chinese culture, gained widespread popularity during this era. Social life was active and lively. The Tang dynasty was truly a golden age, not only for the state but for the people themselves.